Here are my FPL Game Week 15 transfer plans. Game Week 14 has just ended, so we have just 2 days to make the decisions for our FPL teams because Game Week 15 is a mid-week round of fixtures starting on Tuesday evening. So today I'm going to be talking you through what transfers I want to make, who I'm potentially looking at selling, who are the key transfer targets. There have been a few injuries, there have been a few players returning from injuries that might potentially force me into a -4 this week as well to try and fix some of those players in my squad. We'll also talk about captaincy, who I think is going to be the best shout going into this week, where we do expect a little bit of rotation in FPL. So here is my first team selection. Welcome back everyone, FPL Harry here, diving straight in. Before we do, 1,000 likes is the aim. Subscribe if you are new around here as well. So my team for Game Week 15 lines up as it is on screen. Just a little note, I'm recording at half-time in the Manchester City versus Spurs game. Son has already scored twice, once in his own net and once in the opposition net as well. So glad I held on to him a little bit, but he has scored an own goal. And Erling Haaland is my captain in that game. So looking at my team, I still have Areola. I'm really disappointed in him. We'll talk about a potential goalkeeper change in my team this week as well. So he is in there. Now, in defense, we've got Livramento, we've got Tsimikas, and we've got Gabriel. I am concerned about all three of these starting their midweek round of fixtures. Gabriel is probably the least of a concern for me, as I want him long term. But Tsimikas did play at the weekend when there was a pretty explosive game against Fulham for Liverpool in that one, where they did concede 3. He had an okay game. He got a dubious assist, but we also have Livramento. Now, Livramento looks so good for Newcastle, but we still know that they have Lewis Hall. They also have a difficult fixture against Spurs next weekend as well, where he might want to favour playing Livramento, so there's always the chance that Lewis Hall comes in and starts that match. So I am concerned about Livramento and Tsimikas getting a rest midweek, given the fixtures that they have this week and how many minutes they've played recently. Into midfield, so Cole Palmer did have a little bit of a knock, so he was rested against Brighton, but he was on the bench, so I'm still happy enough with him because I do expect him to come back in for that Manchester United fixture midweek. Now, I could look at someone like Anthony Gordon going into my midfield, but I don't really have a route to him. Cole Palmer or Mbeumo would probably be the players that I'd want to sell, but right now I don't really think that selling either of them this week is the way to go. Elsewhere in my midfield, Son has West Ham at home. Happy with that given the goals that West Ham are conceding at the moment. We have Mo Salah away at Sheffield United and we have Bukayo Saka away at Luton. Saka, my transfer in this week. Arsenal look like they're absolutely cooking at the moment. Very happy that I finally found room in my team to go and buy Bukayo Saka and of course Mo Salah as well. Up front we have Haaland and we have Ollie Watkins. Haaland, again, not going anywhere. Ollie Watkins, again, wasn't injured in the end. He did play, got a goal and an assist, and now he's playing at home against a Manchester City side who are leaking goals and, of course, won't have Rodri for that fixture as well. So pretty happy with how the attack is looking. Pretty certain I'm going to captain Salah away at Sheffield United. Sheffield United look very poor again. Conceding 5 to Burnley is, not good. Despite being down to 10 men, I really think there'll be goals in this game. For Liverpool, they are scoring goals at the moment. I do think Salah will be involved. So Salah is going to be my captain, I think. Saka is my vice captain at the moment going away to Luton. It could end up with my vice being on Erling Haaland as well. But I really think that my one free transfer this week is going to be focused on my defence. I still have Matty Cash in my squad, who of course was benched in Game Week 14. He came on and didn't get any points. He then has Manchester City and Arsenal in the next 2 fixtures as well. I have just one free transfer and 1.5 million in the bank, and I do think cash out is probably the most likely transfer for me this week. So looking at those potential replacements for Matty Cash, there are 2 real options that I go for. I could still double up on the Arsenal defence and go and add Saliba. I could also go to Zinchenko. If Tomiyasu is going to be out for a reasonable amount of time, it just means that there's less potential for a rotation for Zinchenko. Zinchenko is more attacking than Saliba, but it's unlikely that we get a real sort of diagnosis on Tomiyasu before the deadline, which is a little bit of a concern. However, if Tomiyasu is out, then Zinchenko at left back, Ben White at right back seems to be a pretty nailed on sort of fullback rotation or fullback pair for them. So it's probably worth saving the money over buying Saliba. However, the other option that I do really like is going and buying Pedro Porro of Spurs. Now, they've, of course, conceded to Manchester City. They don't look great defensively at the moment, but he is so attacking. Without Maddison on there, he is on so many set pieces. 5.3 million, and the fixtures over the next few games are really nice for them, including West Ham at home this week. Arsenal go away to Luton, who are not bad at the moment. So I would say that's pretty even in terms of potential returns, but the attacking potential for Porro is really nice, and I might just want to buy Zinchenko later down the line once I get an injury update on Tomiyasu. And I am not liking my goalkeepers at the moment. Turner's lost its place and Areola is not keeping a clean sheet, but we may have been presented with a gift in FPL. Nick Pope has potentially dislocated his shoulder, which could see him out for a fair few months. For a goalkeeper to dislocate your shoulder, you're unlikely to be playing football for a reasonable amount of time. Last time he did this, he was out for 3 months when it happened at Burnley. Now, we don't have official diagnosis on this yet, and they play on Thursday, so we're unlikely to get a Newcastle press conference before the deadline on Tuesday evening. We might get some leaks on how long he's going to be out for, but it's not guaranteed. However, his replacement, Dubravka, is 3.9 million. They also have a better fixture than Areola has this week. They go away to Everton, whereas, of course, Areola is away to Spurs. So it might be an additional transfer if I want to do the cash move this week. But Turner down to Dubravka, who does rotate really nice with Areola as well, could be a -4 this week. So just to wrap that all up, here is my team. One free transfer this week, so I used both last week. 1.5 million in the bank. So I'm pretty happy with my team in midfield and attack. Captaincy currently on Mo Salah. Vice captaincy currently on Bukayo Saka. One free transfer this week, currently going to be used on Matty Cash, I think. I'll then have to make the call on who to bench out of Livramento and Tsimikas as well. There is always rotation, particularly in those midweek round of fixtures around the Christmas time. So I am potentially worried that Lewis Hall will start at left back, or Joe Gomez could start at left back for Liverpool. So Porro likely to come in. If we get news that we're going to hear on Tomiyasu being out for a while, then I might go on Zinchenko because his attacking threat is good, and it's maybe a slightly better fixture for Arsenal this week than it is for Spurs. But both of those two in Zinchenko and Pedro Porro are top transfer targets for me. Right now, I'd probably end up benching Tsimikas. I reckon he is a bigger risk this week than Livramento, but I think it's pretty close. It could go right down to the deadline, which of those I think I would want to start. I do also think that I'd probably want to make the goalkeeper transfer for a -4, given the fixture that we do have this week. So I might end up bringing in Dubravka for Turner if we get any sort of hint that Nick Pope is going to be out for a reasonable amount of time. Now, the only other thing to cover in this video is probably Trippier. I still don't have a route to him. I have 1.5 million in the bank. If I wanted to sell cash to go up to Kieran Trippier, I need to free up 0.6 million more, and I just look at my team and I don't really see that. The only route I really have to go and buy Kieran Trippier into my team and freeing that money up would be selling Mbeumo when it gets to the blank in game week 18. I could downgrade him to someone like Anthony Gordon, someone like Hwang Hee-chan, and that would give me the money in the bank to go and upgrade cash all the way up to Kieran Trippier. But without doing that, I don't really see another obvious way to go and free up 0.6 million. I don't have a expensive defender that I could go and do it for. It really probably is Son, who's looking still pretty good for Spurs. He is still focal to them. He is a player I've spoken about selling before, who I could still sell, Mbeumo or Cole Palmer, but doesn't really feel like it's essential for me to do this week, especially while Kieran Trippier is on 4 yellow cards as well. So although I like Trippier as an option, I don't really have a route to him. I think one transfer in defence and probably a -4 for a goalkeeper if we do get a return date on Nick Pope being at least into 2024. So that is my team. We'll be having another video before the deadline, plus a 2-hour deadline stream on Tuesday afternoon. So make sure you are subscribed to get a reminder of all those when they do happen. Like the video before you go. Ask any questions you have about your team in the comment section down below. Thank you all so much for watching. 1,000 likes is the aim, and I'll be back again very soon.